All right. This is a this is going to be a good one. And I say that oh, it's true because I feel like I'm going to talk about a very important issue right now that I think most of us in the tech industry are facing. I'm self-employed, so I'm not really facing it directly, but I'd say most software engineers, people in tech, you're facing a certain issue when it comes to the job market. And I have a solution to at least ease the pain for it. And no, it's not become a plumber. Although that can, hey, you want to be a plumber? That's cool too. Um, it's not, learn. Oh, dude, Roz, you are early this stuff. So the solution is, well, actually, before I get into the solution, let's talk about a certain situation. Let's talk about a certain situation. So let's talk about a story. I like to talk about things in terms of story because we like story here. Okay, let's get you right here. This is you. This is you right here. All googly eyed. Let's say this is you in 2018. Yeah, you in 2018. You're wide eyed. You're so precious. You got a little top hat. I'm getting very creative right now. So this is you, 2008. You just graduated high school. You're like, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a CS degree. You're so precious. You're so, you're so precious. You were like, I'm gonna get a CS degree, and everything is gonna be just great. This is what you thought was gonna happen, right? And then now, okay, this is the little speech bubble. Obviously, I'm an artist first. So you thought everything was gonna be great. Get a little smile on your face, got a little nose. Clearly, I'm an artist. So you were like in 2018, you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna get a CS degree. Everything's gonna be great." Look, I saw an ad on YouTube where there was like a some this girl was making. She was like sitting at LinkedIn making like 200K, and was did barely knew how to code. And you're like, "Listen. This is a great idea, and nothing could possibly go wrong. As soon as 2022, 2023 hits, I'm gonna have a job, a career that's gonna last forever." Turns out, dot 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 time lapse. It's 2023, and no one can get a effing job. I'm monetized now, by the way, so I gotta. So that's what asterisk means. Asterisk means YouTube, we're buddies. Okay, so hey, what's up, Ghost in the Machine? Ghost in the Machine. What a name! What an epic name. Okay, so it's 2003, and you're like you've applied for you apply. This is how I think, by the way. This is it's like you gotta work through. You gotta draw things out. You applied to like you applied to 1,000 jobs, and you can't get anything. Now, by the way, this video is not and is not like I'm not gonna like say this isn't. I'm not gonna like say, oh, hey, you want to get a job? Like I was gonna make the title different. I was gonna be like, "Oh, like this is how you get a job," and like, no, that's not the point of what I'm doing here. The point of what I'm doing is I want to give you a very, very good thing, actionable thing you can do right now that'll make your life easier for the next few months to a year. So you're this guy. You're like, "Hey, I got the degree. Everything's great," but it turns out those ads you saw in 2028. My brain's fucking dude, they gotta replace me with AI. Those ads you saw in 2018, they were representing an inflated economy, especially specifically when it comes to venture capital, VC money in the tech arena. People were getting a ton of Saudi money, and they were inflating their valuations for their businesses for marketing and also just for competitively because to get a unicorn, you got to get to the market fast. So what happens what is with all this VC money, it trickles up. The business starts to expand, and the operation starts to expand with the capital. So whenever you see a lot of capital, you see large operations. Whenever you see large operations, you see a lot of people getting hired because you need people to work there. There needs to be someone there to do things. And often you see the bullshit jobs thing where people are doing things like they're making a button or whatever, and they're getting paid like $100,000 a year, right? So that doesn't exist anymore. I want to be very clear here. So we have let's graph this out. We have VC money at the top. Let's say this is a funnel. VC money at the end. By the way, I'll get to the chat in a sec. But first, we're going to map through the ideas. So VC money is at the top of the funnel. This is the funnel that leads to you having a job. You see, you having a job is at the bottom of the funnel right here. Top of the funnel is VC money. VC money, not monkey. VC money at the top of the funnel. This is science. See, at the top of the funnel, you have VC money. Bottom of the funnel, you have you having a job. So what happens is a lot of stuff happens in between. You have startups get created and invested in. Accelerators start forming. And then eventually some of these companies actually make money, but that's a lower in the funnel, right? So that's actually less capital gets to the point where companies start making actual money, like Facebook and all these FANG companies and yada, 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 yada. So this is like a funnel leading directly to you having a job. So what's happening right now, I'm gonna be very, very, very basic right here. What's happening right now is, hold on a sec, is, so what's happening right now is up here, this is gone. Okay, I want to be very clear. The VC money, so the VC money, let's make an arrow. So this money is going away rapidly, very fast. Okay, so what happens is first the startup excel, the founders start hearing it, the other investors, people a little bit higher in the inverse pyramid start feeling it. The company, this is a funnel. The companies that actually start making money, they don't have as they feel a little bit later, but it's like you didn't see Twitch start laying people off in 2020, you know. Well, there was the mass layoffs when it comes to Facebook and all these people, but that was actually I could talk about that. I talked about it in another video, but you're going to start seeing, especially after the Silicon Valley Bank thing, you're going to start seeing a lot more companies you're aware of that you thought made money are going to start to be like, hey, I just don't we don't have anything, right? So now this part is revealing itself, the bottom of the funnel. You having a job is now in flux. It's going to be harder, right? Don't worry. Partly what I want to do with these streams is I want to provide value. And one thing that I know in this situation where you have nothing, a little bit of background about me is that the way I've been a software engineer since I was a teenager with internships and junior developer when I was like 17. Worked in at big companies, small companies. Now have my own company where we work with clients and build their MVP. Um, but that's how I make money. Not make at all making money on this video. The advertising so far isn't doing anything. So like I'm not like this isn't like me trying to funnel you to like some program I have. It'd be nice if YouTube gave me actual money, but that's my experience, and I know from the beginning one of the most important things that set me apart from other people was my ability to communicate and also how professional I was from the start. So when I'd be like a teenager, but I'd be someone that was like able to go on a team. And also I would work with people I had a ton of peers that well, not a ton. There's like a decent amount that I'd work with, and we'd be a team and we'd tackle projects together in a contract sense, in an open source sense, in a hackathon sense, and all this stuff. So I'm going to talk about something that I can't. Whoa, something that I can't believe. Let's get a new. Let's clear this page. Let's start anew, which is what we're doing in 2020. So I can't believe more people aren't talking about this. Okay, so tech winter is what I'll call it. The state where where people aren't getting opportunities. The tech winter solution. Find a coder buddy. By the way, it's not like this is more of a this is a macro thing. This is like we need a culture in the hacker software engineer world where you're like working with people more. We can't be isolated anymore. It's not you can't afford you literally can't afford that because there's not enough money to afford it. And before I get into because I have like 10 points here, roughly on why. And before I get into that, I want to get into the fact that a lot of this is about being active and taking action to build with people. Now, when you do things like that, you wind up creating your opportunities versus waiting for that. Like in the beginnings of the car industry and all these things, you had a lot of people, you know, in like the pre-industrial age, you had a lot of people being like, "Oh, I'm the only guy that knows how to like work on steam engines, and you're the only guy that knows to work on steam engines. We're gonna have a little shop." Now, obviously, we have that now, but it's not as I don't think we have a culture around it. You need it. I promise you right now, you need it. Okay, and I'm not trying to like. Um, this is all my opinion. It's all my opinion. Uh, so I find Coder Buddy. First, let me say what is a Coder Buddy. Let's make our definitions here. What is a Coder Buddy? So a Coder Buddy is someone who is on your team. You understand? Someone you tackle projects together and learn together. Rather than acting as a single developer, you act as a group, a team. And how this is set up can be however you want. You can start a company, you can start an LLC. I actually suggest that. And to sort of act because I think contract work is going to get a lot more important right now because with less capital, they can't promise you a salary as much, but they probably have enough funds to pay you 20 hours a week for an amount of time that isn't set, right? So you should probably be looking for these types of opportunities. But even if it doesn't need to be a business. You don't have to start a business. It can simply be someone where you guys are just in a Slack together and you just like share opportunities and you guys teach each other things and you like literally go on a call and will pair program lead code together. You know what I mean? This is your partner in crime. Okay. That this is what a coder buddy is. Now I'm gonna get rid of these 2 points. So let's keep this up here. This is super important. Let's talk about like the actual. This is the part. Let's break down why. So like why find coder. And by the way, I'm not saying you're gonna get rich from shit because you get a coder buddy. I'm just saying this is like like do it. I'm saying this, your life's gonna be a lot easier. Um, okay. So first thing, here's the reason two and four. Let me go to the chat. Um, I got into programming. This is Roz. I got into programming with Trump. Stopped the money printer. If only it was longer. Yeah, dude, the money printer. This is all, by the way, the VC money is downstream from the money printer. Um, let's see. Goes to the machine. Gonna finish my task now. Then 3 to 4 hours later, gonna come and watch you in 2x. Nice. Uh, Lucas, I don't even know the bar seems to be raising higher than people can learn because I see George Hotz hiring devs that contribute a lot to how much should you lead with value? It's not that the value, the bar is going high. People don't have enough money. So like like a lot of it's not that the bar like I could hire because if I have like a startup that's just not really valid, but we have like $5 million in funding and we just need a basic app. By the way, that's like 1,000 companies, at least circa 2018. We can hire people that aren't that good and still compete because there's a lot of things being created, and these things are all novel. You know, you can hire someone who's just not good to do like pretty basic stuff, especially if you have the funds for it. And you don't have to compete with Google for jobs. Right now, the bar is raising because there's just not like there's less like people can't afford to not hire a senior developer. It's not like personal. It's not like not that I'm saying you're saying it is, but it's not like a personal thing where it's like, oh, we just don't want to hire like everyone at the company's like we just don't want to hire good like people. Or we don't want to hire juniors anymore. It's like they can't afford to. Like it takes 3 to 6 months for a junior to really contribute, typically. Um, okay, so two is better. By the way, this is not very clear. You're not gonna magically like make a ton of money because you have a coder buddy. I'm saying your life's gonna be better. Two is better than one. But that's kind of like a joke one. It's not like a one of the reasons why two is better than one, what I'm saying here is because in general, when you're in isolation and you're very new at something, everything's gonna be hard. So when you're trying to like figure out if this job, like vetting jobs, vetting opportunities, being able to network and go places and like use discernment when you're young and you're new, two is better than one. Okay. Like whenever you're uh sort of competing in a situation, two is gonna be better than one. So but that's not this is the general thing. This is like an overarching thing. This is super important. This is super important. But like this is probably the most one of the most important points here. You get to share a network. Highly suggest if someone's doesn't have a network that you really think about this point right here. So when you like I've had coder buddies through the years, okay? People where we just work on everything together and we'd have our own team. And then eventually it became 3 or 4 coder buddies, which we'll talk about later. But you get to share a network. So like when one person eats, we all eat. You know what I mean? Like uh you get to leverage each other's network and it benefits both of you. when you do that. Because if they want work, you guys can just pair a ton of work together. You guys can come in as a team to work on different things. Okay, and you'll become top of mind if you guys are a good team to your coder buddy when opportunities come their way. So you're not just leveraging your network, you're leveraging their network, and it's very strong because you guys are part. So like a lot of people think you can just leverage it all your friends' networks. It's not really true. You can't. Like, you can only leverage a network with how much trust you have in that network. So like I can't just leverage some person I haven't seen for 10 years that I was friends with in high school network or something because I don't have no trust. Right? But Twitter buddy, that's the highest. You guys are essentially sharing a career. That's very high trust. You get to share each other's network. So this is a big one. So you have to learn from each other. So this is the best quarter buddy pairs that I have. And one guy is typically the front end and one guy. Now that it doesn't always have to be that way. It could be you're one guy's an ML guy and you're sort of like more so the app developer, the application developer. You do the websites, you do the apps, you do the front ends in terms of the whole stack, and this person they like do the machine learning of whatever AI apps you do. I don't know, but um, in general, it's good that you guys sort of have two different skill sets that can work together, so that you can be constantly learning from each other. So that like one person's skill set, you'll as things go on, sort of learn from them. I remember my buddy, my coder buddy. Uh, I remember this is like I was like 19 or something. We would work on everything together, and I knew a lot of front end like JavaScript, like vanilla JS, but I didn't do a ton of like I think React just came out or something like that. And I remember he was using React for stuff because I would do the back ends, he do the front ends. And if anyone knows me now, React is I use React for like everything, professionally and not. And that was my first exposure was working with him on these projects doing React. So it's like I kind of learned React from him a little bit and Redux at the time. So that's a huge point. So this is I talked about this a little bit earlier. So you can operate as a startup an agency. So you don't have to do this. This is totally optional, right? Completely optional. This part, listen, if you don't want to do this, I get it. I get it. This is my type of thing. Um, I like having LLCs and like working with like people in a business and having that structure. Not everyone likes that. Hey, what's up? Submit to Rome. Let's see. Is the future hardware based? Meaning, will the next big tech companies be more and more hardware based with software, of course? Um, interesting. So, like, let me talk. So, Memento, I want to talk about that later. Uh, can you hold me to that? I really don't want to forget that because that's a super important point. Sounds like I think it posted a Reddit post of a graph and Google trying to outbuy OpenAI and compute. Oh yeah, send me that in the Discord, Lucas. MT401. Can my next coder buddy have an Indian accent? Listen, your coder buddy can be whoever you want. You can be whoever you want. It might be someone with an Indian accent. It depends. I like how you're asking. You're like, can it be someone with an Indian accent? That's hilarious. Um, we get some space here. So, what's this next point? Can it be someone with an Indian accent? Okay, so this next point. So this is probably on the engineering front. This is the most important part. This is if like because a lot of people just simply lack the ability in terms of the engineering front. Um, because what I think Lucas in the chat was saying, the bar is getting raised higher and higher. And because the bar is getting raised higher and higher, a lot of people just they don't know a lot. And what they don't know a lot isn't like lead code. Like I promise you, lead code is not going to be getting you a job. That's not like I mean, maybe in the past year, 2024 is not a lead code year. 2024 is that does this guy know infrastructure and tools that and performance? I think performance, whether your understanding of performance, is gonna, in my opinion, is going to be a big part of whether or not you can get hired. A lot of the senior related skill sets. So like tackle bigger projects. When you're two, you can tackle bigger projects. You can work on bigger things. You can be a part of a bigger project as if you were like actually working at a company. So you can because a lot of people they've only been doing well, most people have only been doing their projects alone. So the scope is limited. So the types of problems that they're working on are limited. And often when you're in an interview, people are kind of vetting whether you're limited in terms of your problem solving ability. So it's really important to think about tackling bigger projects. So let's see, this part this part's a little funny. Listen. You don't. Hey, doesn't this doesn't need to be an important point, but it helps. You get emotion. You get a buddy. All right, you get emotional support. I'm not saying don't go to your buddy and be like, "Hey, dude, I chopped my dick off. I need help." Actually, don't or maybe actually come with that. That's actually a big deal if that happens. This is more so like you have someone to rely on when it comes to certain situations. Let's say you guys pair contracts together and you're like sick one day, you can still be or you're down one day or you don't like you're just not up to like emotionally or whatever, then you can leverage that other person, you know. And also it's just nice to have someone in the same situation as you, which I'll talk about in a sec. And you guys get to sort of do things together because it's like you get that camaraderie. Really like this is a point of camaraderie. That's the main sort of thing here. So okay, this is an important point. You get to build community naturally. This is an important and by the way, ask any questions in the chat. I will 100% get to it. I want to talk through this a little bit to clarify some things. So you get to build community naturally. So like the I think so. People always say, "Oh, network, get community, network, get community, network, get community." Typically, that stuff, like having a community and networking, typically is being in a position where you just have access to those things. Like a lot of people don't think so much to network. Not everyone's a game theory guy who's like, "How do I play the game and like get the best?" Net-" A lot of people are like that. And like I'll say techniques for networking stuff like that on some other videos. But when you have a coder buddy, you guys just made a community to some extent. And if you guys are eventually getting opportunities together because you're more confident, because you're sort of learning from each other really fast, which is really important, you're gonna draw people to you. People will be like, "Oh, dude, can I work with you on something?" That's what happened to me. Like we'd work on stuff together, and then me and my friends, and then people are like, "Hey, can I work on something?" That's happening now. Like people will come to me and be like, "Hey, dude, can I work on a thing?" Because they'll see that I have a company where we work on like projects and stuff. And it's like once you start doing things together, things start coming towards you more so. You get that flow of stuff towards you. Um, so this is so like yeah, I'm running out of space here. Hold on a sec. Whenever I make lists, whenever I make lists, I run out of space. That's like, okay, let's make that smaller, get some more space here. I mean, there's only like 10 points, I think, maybe 11. Maybe I'll get rid of the camaraderie thing. All right, so nah, that's an important point. So like this this point isn't for everyone, but if you're cool, this is for you. Eventually you can scale. This is whether you have a company or just a little Discord community where you guys work together on like open source stuff. First, you get one. Okay, let me walk through the math here. Let's say more people start accepting that they need to kind of work together, and that's a culture. And it's normal for everyone to have coder buddies. So let's say you and your you and your coder buddy are perfect, and that's two people. You're perfect at building mobile apps, but you guys need to get into the web front, and then you meet another group of coder buddies, and you guys are buddies in general. You guys they do web. They're a front end back end web team. Now check this out. What if you guys join forces and make a team of four, a code buddy clan, coder buddy clans, where now you're grouped up, you're mobbed up. Okay, so now you have like four people that are actually like working, and now you have four networks that are together because you guys are all. You don't have to like you could have your coder buddy clan ran however you want. You don't have to make it so you guys are literally sharing careers, or you can. Hey, if you have that level of trust, that's awesome. That's like crazy. You have that level of trust. But like, if you have something where it's a little more like, hey, we're just like community where we just like, leverage each other's networks and like kind of work on each other's open source stuff. Hey, it's all good. Hey, you do your coder buddy clan however you want. Um, let's see. You can ask ChatGPT to always leave an emotional support message after each code snippet you request. Yeah, I need to I need to talk to ChatGPT and be like, dude, oh man, I I just don't know if this is gonna work. For someone who doesn't like to go in Discord communities, how can you engage in that approach? Let me. eh, that's a good question. Are you the one who had another good question? Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I went to a business summit in the first month out of high school. It's been 6 months, and it's still really hard to apply. And I get the most valuable, and I got from the most valuable 8 hours of my life. Is that interesting? So you went to a business summit. Yeah. So sometimes those events can be it depends. They can be good or they can be bad. But sometimes it really just being exposed to people that like doing business and stuff like that's awesome. Especially when you're young, like being exposed to like business owners that are just like excited and crushing it, it can change your life. Okay, so if your coder buddy wins, you win. Win together. But like they get an opportunity, even if it's like, hey, an opportunity that kind of breaks you guys up as coder buddies. They get their fang job or whatever. You guys both sort of won. And here's the thing: that person can refer you to that job. You'd be top of mind. Like you now have like a very high trust relationship with someone that you guys work in. When that you're close with and your network wins, you win. You all rise up. Now, whatever company they work at or whatever, hey, let's say their win is like some open source project they did on the side, like gets super popular. All the stuff they're getting, you don't get it directly. It's theirs. But what I mean is like you're now brushing shoulders with someone who crushes, right? Like you guys kind of when your friends win, you win to some extent. That's why you have to support your friends, which I know it sounds sounds obvious and it's like hokey, but it's like it's true. You want to be someone who's like when your friends win, it's not that you're like you parasitically take from that, but it's something where it's like you're like, dude, that's great. Like think in terms of like 20 years and your friends and the people you know. It's like, is this thing that like how are we gonna be like in 20 years? If someone gets a really great opportunity, it's like, hey, that's a dude that's gonna be like wealthy and who you're close with, and you guys are all gonna be able to be wealthy in 20 years, right? So when your Cody buddy wins, you win, and that's just a general friend thing. Too. Okay, this is actually I don't know why I made this last. Kind of this might be the no. I said so. The two most important engineering related things is this and the tackle bigger project. So the final point here is you will naturally learn. Hold on, it's like getting cut off. You'll naturally learn the communications and tooling of professional software engineers. But with just one connection, you will most likely become more proficient at the more at how the job is in the real world. What I mean is like a lot of times in interviews, and I talked about this a little earlier, people just aren't good at communicating. It'll be the first time in person they've said the term like stack or something. The first time they've talked about stacks outside of the internet. The first time they've talked about queues or whatever. So it's like they're fumbling over you may know it, but you're fumbling over your words because you've just been in the silo. When you have a coder buddy, you guys are interfacing all the time about engineering stuff. So you start to like, and this is one thing that I leveraged a lot when I was young, is I was like always talking with people about tech things. So I had those hours of like communicating these thoughts and the tooling. So it's like now this isn't so much the case, but it might be the case for you. Like Git used to be a huge barrier for people where a lot of people just didn't know Git. And because they didn't have to, because there's no like there's like they didn't know like a lot of they didn't know how to do a merge. They didn't know how to fix merge conflicts. They didn't understand GitHub Actions. They didn't understand a lot of these normal things when you're actually working a job. You got a coder buddy. Hey, hopefully your coding buddy's reviewing your code. Hopefully, okay, like that better be happening. So like the let's see, can I add layers here? So this is in general the 10 points of why you got to find a coder buddy. Now I'm gonna tell you how. So I said what a coder buddy is. We're doing the why, and now we're gonna do the how. Does that make sense? The yeah, iron sharpens iron. Gus gets it. Um, it's one of those social rules that one of the average, yeah, iron sharpens iron. Exactly. If you're around people that care about competence and a high level of behavior and performance, that's gonna like, ooh, you guys are gonna clash in very good ways. You might have conflicts with each other, buddy. But that's a good thing. Conflict, you can't fear conflict when it comes to friends and community. It's like, especially as a man, you have to. Conflict it's what makes you stronger. So you guys like, oh, one person doesn't care about this type of. They don't care about writing tests, and the other like really cares about writing tests. Like that's a. You guys are gonna have that conflict, and then you're gonna grow out of it and become better. You need those conflicts because when you have this conflict, it gets meaning. Don't be a high conflict person, but like you get what I'm saying. You have to document your human AI API interface so that your coder buddy can understand you. Yeah, you have to uh, document how you communicate as a coder, as a human. You have to have Swagger docs. You just have a REST API that maps out like how you think. Don't do that. That's like retarded. All right. So if you actually make a REST API with Swagger docs about that's like having your dating profile be behind a REST API. Hey, maybe you'll find your coder coder girlfriend doing that. Um, all right. So let me do the how. I want to keep this up. How do I keep this up? You know what? Just gonna open a new tab. You guys still see that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Open up a new tab because there's a couple things. There's a couple things. I made a Discord, or I have a Discord, but I made a. You don't have to join the Discord, by the way. This isn't. I'm not marketing my Discord. I'm just trying to provide a place because these streams, um, a lot of interesting engineers and cool, like young engineers, come to the stream. So I want to use that to provide something that could be of value to you guys. So like how to find Coder Buddy. Like I'm gonna talk about like generic things. And then I'm gonna talk about things that I'm gonna try to help you out with if you guys need to find each other. So here's some like generic things. Go to events. Okay? Go to events, like real events. Go to meetups, tech meetups. Hackathons are the best if those are still exist. But go to events, go to tech meetups, go to hackathons, yada yada yada. Like try. So I'm going to talk to you about how to talk to engineers because it's actually a skill in, in itself. Because a lot of people they don't like, you don't really network with engineers. It's not like when I talk about networking, it's typically like networking for jobs. Like engineers don't are like anti network. Okay, so so also online, you can do it online. So you can go on LinkedIn. What's up? GitHub. GitHub's obviously you can't like reach out on GitHub. Like, find what's like another one. YouTube places where like devs are sometimes. Discord, but whatever. Like you go to places here, specifically GitHub. If you like someone's like repo and you see they're in a similar situation as you, like they're at a college and they work on cool stuff, like try to like engage with them and talk with them. Here's how you actually do that. And I know if some random person is trying to talk to me, typically I'll be very like, no, don't talk. So, how to approach an engineer? Main thing, talk like pick their brain about technology or nerd out about what you're into and how it relates to something they build. Okay, that's really the best. This is like the best way to approach engineers is like you approach is like you sort of just like nerd out about stuff. Like it's not a big deal. Like don't like be weird. I really want to stress don't be weird. Like so this is like don't be like hey dude like the first like I'll get messages sometimes from people in India where it's like oh I need you can I use your profile to like work on stuff or like can I do whatever and I'm like it's so weird. It's like be normal, like hang out. You're on a Discord or some YouTube, like hang out. Be cool. You know, if you're reaching out to someone on LinkedIn and you like their stuff, projects they work on, engage with what they're working on and try to develop like a business relationship. Try to try to like actually get a friendship. You know what I mean? Um, don't be weird. See, I'm just gonna say, don't be weird. Be very clear about that. Now here's something that I want to do that I want to help out with is so how do I? Is something I want to help out with is find a is go to my Discord. You don't have, by the way, I'm not like pushing. You don't, if you don't like these streams, you don't like the content, I don't care. But don't go on the Discord. And if you do, or if you're already on the Discord, go to my Discord, go to hashtag Coder Buddy Nation channel, and then tell people about yourself. So like talk about so there's like three things that you can say whatever you want in the channel, but I suggest saying three things. I call it guess when you're like trying to sort of tell people about what you like who you are and when it comes to like uh meeting people and like networking, especially within your vocation and your job. And if you're in like you're a welder and you're in a group of welders, whatever, it's like talk about your goal, your current goals, your current experience. Talk about your current. You can even lay it out like this on the channel. Like I won't care. Like that's good. Talk about your current skill set, and also talk about your current situation. So like your situation, like you don't like be sobby or whatever. Um, just talk about hey, like I'm out of college and like this is like I'm just trying to like meet up some common developers or whatever. I just got laid off from Twitch. Like tell people your situation, and someone else in the same situation who relates is going to be like, "Hey, that's great." You know, for experience, really don't try to like pretend like you're something you're not. If you don't know how to code, say you don't know how to code. That's fine. You're a designer and you want to be a coder, like say that too. Skill set, same thing. It's like talk about like be honest. Don't just be like you learned like you did one Java tutorial and now you're like, oh, I code Java. Like just be real. If your goal, the reason why goals is first is because you have to. You shouldn't be thinking about your goals anyway. But this is an excuse to think about what your actual intention is to try to find a coder. So this is a channel um, where I want people to sort of find other people to work with on stuff. I really highly suggest anyone who's like right now, literally go just get off the video and go on the Discord and go to the Coder Buddy Nation and find a coder buddy, and be cool and hang out and like try to like offer value. Be like, hey, dude, I work on this cool stuff. I have like this network, whatever. I have these types of things I want to learn. Like that's my goal. And like, I want to build like an open source project that's related to this, and then hop on a project together, get in DMs with people. So people are already doing it on the Discord, which is great. But getting DMs, start talking to people about their projects. So this is how you take a because right now the cool thing about, in my opinion, about like what's happening in tech, where it's like you have tons of people that are skilled, but they can't in industry. There's not like the same capital to get jobs. You people in this type of economic situation is where a lot of creativity can start happening. So that's the not everything just sucks. Like there's always like a diamond in the rough, right? Like you have free time. Hey, you have to spend less money, right? Like it sucks. Like there's a part of it that sucks. You have free time and there's a lot of other people with free time and you guys can like make your own jobs. You can make it a full-time thing Like, make your own stand with your coder buddy, where it's like you guys will meet every day at like 10 a.m. and talk about what you worked on. You just set up your own little company, like set up your own operation, and you don't even have to really have any work. But eventually, if you're a guy, if you're a man with a plan who acts like you got your shit together, eventually shit starts coming to you. Like opportunities start coming to you, because you're just doing it. Like you're already a guy, you're already a software engineer, you just do it. Like you just don't have any software to engineer. You know what I mean? But that's really everything. That's by the way, I don't like I'm not selling anything here. I'm just trying to there's a lot of people that come on the stream and like I want to use that Discord. It seems like people want to engage the community, and I want to use that for people to sort of find other people in similar situations, start working together. There's something someone said. There's something someone said here. I really want to talk about the hardware thing, right? Memento. So, by the way, yeah, yeah, we talked about Coder Buddies. Now we're just chilling. So, Memento. You're talking about is the future hardware based? Is the future hardware based? Like in the future, our engineers going to be doing more hardware stuff? So there's a lot of arguments for that. One, because of the AI chip competition. Um, that's a possibility. I wouldn't bet on that. Also, IoT is I wouldn't bet on that at all. Um, I definitely wouldn't bet on the yeah, one be around like-minded people, 100%. Oh, sorry, I missed to apply to Plaid, you have to submit your CV via API REST. Yeah. Oh yeah, but so hardware, I have like crazy ADD. The thing about hardware is people are already working on hardware. Um, really, you got to think about how is the consumer industry going to change? It's one. There's going to be a lot. Energy's changing. A lot of things are going electrical. I think that has a huge consequence to it. That's not like negative, just that's going to have a result that we're going to see a lot more hardware stuff. And I also think the AI part there's gonna be a hardware side of that, and people are going to get more close to the metal when it comes to AI, which they already are. But whether or not that actually works, sorry, whether whether or not that actually works in the future, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's dependent on like a ton of things whether that actually works. Because like if that's a viable thing in the future. In general, I wouldn't bet on hardware as like a replacement. I think in general, if you want to like get paid, you should get closer and closer to the metal of the computer and your understanding and ability, not just algorithmically. Because a lot of the algorithmic things, like the Google interviews and things like that, a lot of those things are a lot of the jobs that require that competition of like, can you just do lead code? A lot of that's tied to a high level of performance in terms of engineering that really only exists at a huge scale that's like Google. Um, not saying that people don't have to do performant things if it's not a lot of data or something, but I'm saying part of the reason why they have those vetting processes because of that. But what people are lacking a lot is that understanding of systems and the fundamentals of systems more so. Um, the lead code is not going to be something you're probably going to be vetted as much until 2024 as 2023. I'm not saying don't do lead code, but I'm saying I would just try to get closer to the system. I think that's what matters the most. that makes sense. Anyone? It's pretty much, by the way, this is that. I wanted to quickly on Friday talk to you about Coder Buddies. I think you 100% should do this, but you 100%. You don't have to do it on my Discord, by the way. I'm just offering that option. You can go anywhere. You go on someone else's YouTube. There's some other coder. I don't know who else has that type of thing, but like, go to them. Like whoever you like, whatever community you like, start engaging with people more and find some like make a when you and if you already have a buddy like this, be like, hey dude, let's make a Discord, let's make a Slack, let's call it Jabroni like tech, like brand it, like give yourselves a name, we're Hacker Crew 1336, whatever, and just start building stuff together, planning things out, and like don't be a negative Nancy, like be excited, be like, yeah, be like excited to work with that person every day. What I've learned is to just replicate any real coding stream, which is just planning out the project, having the project, and reading the docs. Yeah, replicate any real coding stream. Yeah, yeah, just like plan things out. Um, yeah, when you guys are planning out, I should have a whole video on project planning. I think that'll help a lot. And that might be my next. I'm thinking once a week. I'll do like the builds and everything, and I'll do obviously. But I'm thinking once a week I'll do like something like this where I just talk about things that I know about. Some of these it'll just be me. Like I know about this. This is like my shit. Obviously, I wouldn't be doing a lesson on like I don't know Kant, or I wouldn't be doing a lesson on like uh carburetors or something like that. But this I know about. But I want to do like streams where I kind of just pass on some knowledge, or I just we just talk about interesting concepts, as well as the build streams. Yeah. The By the way, if you want to see like the top, I'm gonna chapter the video to show like the top 10 reasons why you need to get a coder buddy. The overall like thing is like if you work together, this year will be easier for you than not. You don't have to, but I highly suggest you should. And like a lot of people that do really well uh, really have had that team. Like I'd say, dude, like most people I know, but also I went to a lot of hackathons growing up, so like that was the culture. People would like be partners and just go to the hackathons. Um, Now I don't even know if that culture is still a thing. Hopefully, we bring it back. But most people would have like things were way more social in like 2015. I feel like at least in my community, people were like really just working together a lot. Um, I just haven't seen that as much now, and I think it's so big. It's like what happens if you have like 1,000 people that just got laid off that aren't getting like they're gonna have to leverage their skills to do something, and it's better to work together and try to get creative than not, in my opinion. In so many regards, so many regards. Anyway, all right, guys. Yeah, DevOps. Oh yeah, try DevOps. Lucas, if you think DevOps seems fun, find a DevOps. Just realize you guys can't see the chat on the stream. Whatever. It's fine. All right. See you guys. Go. Hey, please go on the Discord and find a coder bug. You don't have to go to someone's Discord. Go anywhere on the internet. Go on GitHub. Find people you like. Try to contact. We need more people. We need more coders and coder DMs. All right. See ya.